Hi, welcome to Leanne's Corner. We are two pasty that make podcasts with bigger hearts and bigger dreams to share everything from 2 a.m. to deep chats. And today, welcome back to our episode 3 of season 1, talking about friendship and love. The topic today that we are going to talk about self love, which is very popular topic among young people and teenagers. So first of all, could you please introduce a little bit about yourself?
Mhm. Hi, I'm Olivia, or I go by Liv from the Living Life podcast. I'm currently a senior in high school. I got interested in podcasts because I just really love them so much. My favorites are like Pretty Basic and the Brittany and the Broski Report. And I really just have a passion for kind of being a friend for others who might not have someone because I know exactly what that's like. My through my years, so I've been able to document my kind of high school years through my podcast and kind of going through everything that other teenagers might be going through. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Amazing introduction.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so but now we are moving on to part 1, talking about redefining self-love. I mean, what is the true definition of self-love in your opinion? Like self-love is often misunderstood and misused in some cases. So, what do you think about the truly meaning of self-love?
I think that self-love is truly like how you would love another person, but it's acting like that towards yourself. So really, however you would treat a person such as like a friend, a partner, even your family is how you would treat yourself, as well as speaking kindly to yourself and truly like loving yourself, but not only loving but liking yourself as well, because through your life all you really get is yourself, all you have is you. So if you need to really understand like how you love yourself and like how to like yourself so you can go on throughout your whole life in a more positive way, and it's just truly is being like kind to yourself and understanding yourself.
Wow, that's really good. Amazing, good point. And do you think that is self-love selfish, or is it the foundation of every other kind of love?
I think that it is the foundation of every other type of love. I think it's a quote by RuPaul, and he's like, if you can't love yourself, how are you supposed to love anybody else? Which I think is so true. And I think my family has really kind of instated that in me since I was a young age. Like, you have to truly put yourself first and kind of love yourself before you can love or understand anyone else, because you are yourself first, and you will always have yourself, kind of like I said, before you have anyone else. So I would not say it's selfish in like any means. It truly is prioritizing yourself and making sure you're the best person in order to love everyone else and to be the best version of yourself for other people. So I don't think it's selfish in any means. And it kind of sets the standard not only for how you love yourself, but also for how you treat other people. Like if you treat yourself kind of wrongly and you don't truly love yourself like that, then you're gonna take that out on other people. And I think I've experienced that, especially last year. I was really frustrated with myself my junior year, and I was not in a good mental space, and I took that out on my friends and other people, which and I kind of not severed, but like kind of harmed those connections I made because I was struggling mentally. So not putting myself first and not prioritizing myself kind of made my other relationships struggle. So I think that's why it is so important to love yourself first, because it is the foundation for all the other loves in your life.
Yeah, that's good. I love the word that become the best version of yourself. That's really meaningful, and the thing that can make us become more optimistic, enthusiastic at all times. That's good.
Mhm.
And Lily, it's your turn.
Are you loving ourselves or just feeding our egos underneath of self-love?
I would not say that it's like feeding your ego in any way. I think truly, I think it's confidence in the way. I think it can kind of border the line between like egotistical and confident in a way. So you have to be very careful. But I think even though it's kind of like toxic, and it kind of in a sense is like kind of being overly confident about yourself at first, because it's kind of faking it till you make it. So once that kind of settles, I think you'll be more fully confident in yourself. So self-love is not egotistical, because it is just truly kind of accepting who we are and being fully invested and developed in ourselves first, and kind of being obsessed with ourselves in a way, because again, like that is all you have. All you got is yourself at the end of the day. So really loving yourself and being very like I'm awesome, I'm super cool, I'm everything that I should be, is very, very good. And I think other people will see that too. Like if you are all about yourself and you walk with a certain confidence, other people will definitely notice that too, and they'll see that kind of love that kind of radiates around you, and they can see that you love yourself.
Amazing point. I can have a better understanding of self-love. Like just actually care for myself better, right? Okay, so for now we are moving on to part two, the inner work, the inner piece of self-love. So when you constantly feel not enough, when you see validation from others to feel worthy, or when you are harder on yourself than anyone else could ever be. So, do you think that what are some signs that you need to work on self-love? And do you speak to yourself with the same kindness you give others? I mean, or do you try to be harder on yourself than anyone else? Yeah, that's my question.
So I think I've definitely been harder on myself throughout the years, especially just kind of due to outside kind of sources. um Kind of like I've put my validation in other things. I used to put my validation in like schoolwork, academic success, friendship success, like kind of popularity, even though like popularity isn't really real. I used to put my value into that, before I learned that like validation cannot come from other things and other outside sources but yourself. Like you need to find ways to validate yourself that is not from external sources, because those external sources will run out, and then once those are gone, you're going to get burnt out, you're going to get sad, you're going to get all these bad feelings that are not good and you don't want to feel. So finding ways to validate yourself, and I think I found that through affirmations, I think for sure is one of the biggest ones. I think kind of affirming yourself and just knowing that you're good enough, and repeating that, because once you say it out loud, like it becomes true, because like I believe in manifestation. So like if you say something is going to happen, and if you believe something is happening, like it'll happen. So like waking up every day and believing that I am confident, I am magnetic, I am proud of myself, those are going to feed you more and going to feed your brain in a good way that isn't from external sources, which is going to make you a lot happier and going to make you feel better, because we are our biggest self critics, especially as teenagers. Like we just are so hard on ourselves for every little thing. Like one mess up, it's like, well, you can feel like I'm worthless, like I don't belong here, or stuff like that. So knowing and having like a secure being secure in yourself is definitely going to make the other things easier. I think because I am a senior, it's like easier said than done. I think as a senior, I'm like, okay, like nothing really matters, like it's not that deep. But as I think about like my freshman self and my sophomore self, who was so hypercritical on every single thing I did, it just it makes me feel sad for her, because I know like it's all going to be okay, and I just need to have more confidence in myself and like really know who I am, and relate that into self-love, and like being and really just loving myself, so I could exude kind of that confidence and that love and like positive energy that everyone wants to feel and be around.
Yeah, useful advice. Yeah,
Yeah.
some motivation for when we are a university life. When you are university life, that's we have to be more confident. We uh try our best to fulfill everything that we want. That's really good.
Thank
So,
you.
at Lily, it's your turn.
Uh, so, does a self-love mean accepting your flaws or avoiding responsibility?
I think that self-love is accepting your flaws. I think as being so young, it's hard to kind of see them and like kind of realize what they are because you can be like, well, I'm just perfect and everyone else is the problem. I think we can have two sides of the spectrum or like, oh, I'm just everything's wrong with me. So I think there's like two sides of the spectrum with it. But having and like kind of recognizing those flaws at such a young age. So it's definitely hard to see them, but I feel like once we kind of realize like the not the bad parts about ourselves, but the parts that we're not that aren't our favorites, I think once we kind of see those and realize that like these parts are a part of me and if they're very very bad like obviously like we should work on them and try to get better at like try to get better as a person and like in a way, but it's also like if it's something you can't change, it is really just accepting that and knowing that like that is a part of you and that's a part of me and kind of working and growing and developing to work alongside it because your flaws are a part of you. So if you work alongside of them and try to grow as a person with them and then try to fight them, I think self-love will come a lot easier because you're fully accepting who you are and growing into yourself as a person and honestly like loving every single part of you, even the parts that aren't your favorites.
So you mean that we have to accept our mistake in some cases, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. And you know that the inner critic, right? Inner
Hmm.
critic,
Yes.
the negative voice inside our head that judges, doubts, and pushes you down. Something makes you feel depressed. So how do you deal with the inner critic when it gets loud in your mind, in yourself?
I think I don't know. I was again, I just really channeled my junior year like last year because I was super struggling with this. I thought like everything that I did was just not good enough, not best, like and I just wasn't being like the best version of myself and I was really frustrated with that. So, and I was kind of in a deep hole in a way because I just had a really amazing sophomore year and then my junior year was nothing like it and I was like this is so frustrating, this is so horrible, like why is my life not as good as it once used to be. And I think that that becomes really frustrating. And the inner critic inside of our head is now criticizing that us for kind of a life we can't control. For the most part, I cannot control other people's actions. I can only control myself. So kind of realizing that like I won't be in this hole forever. Like you will get out of it. You will like this shall pass. Like everything that you think was hard and you were going to pass always passes. So I think kind of just realizing that like you will get through it and it'll all work out in the end is so kind of important and vital to think about in those dark times, especially when we're super down on ourselves, realizing that like it'll always get better, it'll always come around eventually, everything will work out in the way that it's supposed to. So not like I don't know, not kind of like nitpicking at every like little thing that you've done like in your life because that'll just lead you into a deeper hole and a deeper spiral. So kind of accepting it and moving on and realizing that like it'll all get better.
Yeah, I understand. What's your point about that? And Lily, how
How can someone start replacing negative self-talk with something kinder?
With what? Sorry.
How can someone start replacing negative self-talk with something kinder?
Kind of like I said, just with the affirmations, I think that replacing the negative self-talk with something positive is always going to benefit you no matter what. Like just changing like little simple things. It's like, oh, like I'm not good enough. It's changing it to be like, oh, I am good enough. Like even a simple switch like that, just changing it and just kind of repeating it constantly because it will make you believe it in the end. Like you will just kind of always have it in the back of your mind and realize that like, oh, I am good enough. I can do this. This is going to work out. It's all going to be a good. So I think negative self-talk is obviously something that like we're all going to struggle with, especially as teens. Um, but kind of realizing that we can switch that out with positive self-talk. And I always used to think kind of advice I've been giving is like, would you talk to a friend like that? Would you tell a friend they're not good enough? Would you tell your friend they're not pretty enough? Like things like that. If you wouldn't tell your friend that, then why would you tell yourself that? So kind of really realizing that like you again, like you are only who you have, so you got to be super nice. You have to be nice to yourself in order to just kind of have that switch and have a more positive mindset towards things.
Yes, I should do that. My,
Okay, yeah, because my connection, so
Mm,
it's too low sometimes, and so like you said that you try to replace like negative self-talk with yourself
mhm.
to something that is more positive and optimistic. So have you ever um experienced peer pressure at university, right? Peer
Um,
pressure.
I I have not, I think, in a way, but also I have, I think, more society, like not in the stereotypical like peer pressure way that you think of with like substances, for example, but more like kind of culture in a sense. So I don't know. I never feel like peer pressure to use kind of like I'm in a brain rot class right now. So using like slang and things like that. I never felt pressured to use it. But I kind of just find it naturally, but I don't know. I've never really felt like that, but more in a way it's like the phrases everyone else use, I've kind of picked up on that. Things that cannot be very positive, I kind of picked up on that too. And things that are negative self-talk and kind of speak negative things into existence that people say, I kind of try my best to stray away from that because I believe in the power of the tongue. And it's like if you are saying something crazy, it's like, well, that's probably going to happen, so don't say the negative things and more focus on the positive ones. So when everyone else is saying it, I try my best not to, but then again, it is hard to kind of stray away because then you feel like left out in a sense and you feel like you're on an outsider, and obviously no one wants to feel like an outsider. So you kind of fall back into old routines or old patterns that may not be the best. But I think kind of being strong in your own morals and your own values will really help with that, and like knowing who you are, so you can stay strong when things get kind of weary or people start going, I don't know, crazy in a sense, you know.
Yeah, sure, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's really good. Uh, that sometimes I and Lily are also having some difficulties, like to
Hmm.
overcoming peer pressure, because it's made us feel like frustrated and less motivated to do
Hmm.
something like we see that ourselves is not really good, it's not really confident at something.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I just hear your experiences and your viewpoint and feel like have more some motivation to
Hmm.
understand it better. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, yes. Okay, so now we are moving on to part three. Part three, we are talking about boundaries as an act of love.
Hmm.
So, what does a healthy boundary look like in everyday daily life. How can setting boundaries feel empowering instead of being selfish?
So I think I'm kind of still understanding boundaries and kind of realizing boundaries in a sense. So I'm definitely not a master at it. Well, I'm not a master at any of these things, but I'm definitely more so learning about like realizing my boundaries. But I think no, like seeing a healthy boundary is something that's going to benefit both parties. It's something that's going to make me a better friend or partner or family member, for example, that they could also like respect as well. So I think boundaries are a form of respect, and respect is also a self of love because you care enough about that person to respect them and to respect what they believe in and how they like function in life and how you can exist alongside of them. So I can't really give like an example because I'm not the best at it, but I think for friendships, for example, if you're not like super comfortable with something that they're doing, you can just give like a hey, like maybe not do this. And I think if they love and care for you, they will respect that obviously. And then you'll be a better person and well, not a better person, but a better friend towards them. And I think that plays into the self-love too. Because you are loving yourself enough to realize that like, oh, I need this, and also loving yourself enough to realize that like, okay, I got this, I got the confidence to set this boundary in place.
Yeah, sure. So sometimes that healthy boundary is playing essential role in
Mhm,
improving our confidence and our self really, really more many
mhm.
times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Lily, your question?
So, what's good way to communicate boundaries without hurting others?
Well, kind of like I said, in a way, like if you're ever setting a boundary and whoever you're communicating this boundary to is hurt or offended in a way, I think that they don't share kind of the same amount of respect towards you that they should in a sense, because it's like this will help me out and I know it'll help you out too in the long run. So I think a healthy way to communicate it is just being very open and honest. I know I'm definitely not the best at that. When things get hard, I kind of just like run away. But I'm trying my best to kind of communicate and be as open and honest as possible. And I think communication can be all sorts of things, whether you're comfortable with it, like such as an in-person conversation or a phone call or FaceTime call or even just a text message. I know a friend recently, she came to me and she said she was very open and honest with me about something, and that was through a FaceTime call, and I kind of respected that and was like, well, I need to do this now to move forward in a friendship because I care and love and respect her too as well.
So, have you ever regretted not setting a boundary, and what did you learn?
um I think I have in a sense, um but it was more so like not communicating like how I was feeling in a way, because I know that last year for sure I was very caught up in my own head about everything because I was going through it mentally and not communicating, not being open and honest with my friends about how I was feeling, leaving them confused and leaving them even hurt. So if I was open and set the boundary of telling them like, hey, like this is how I'm feeling and setting a certain thing, I think it would have been more beneficial in the long run. I don't think I've ever regretted setting a boundary. I think maybe it's been more out of like kind of like I don't think I've ever regretted setting a boundary, but definitely not setting a boundary for sure, because I realized how much it affected my friends and myself and my friendships with these people. So um, yeah, so I learned that I should be more open and honest with my communication for sure. I think I'm not the best at that at all. I'm definitely not a big open communicator, believe it or not, even though I have a whole podcast on it. I'm very not good at communicating or confrontation in a way. So I think kind of learning more so that I should, like, these are my friends and I have to like fully be myself and be open and honest around them so that there's that sense of trust and respect still in our friendship, and it doesn't leave one party feeling confused or weirded out and leaving them hurt in a way.
Yeah, amazing point that you are always open-minded and honest at any time.
Yeah.
So I have an extra question, like,
Mhm.
you know that have you ever regretted saying no when people need your help or they try to take advantage of your kindness? So how do you control saying no to these situations? I mean, in some cases, it's hard to
Mhm.
say no, you know, right? Because they are my friends or they are my relatives, but they just abuse us, they just take advantage of us over without respect. So how do you control saying no in this situation?
I think I'm pretty iffy on saying no. Like sometimes I should have said no when I didn't. And when I should have said no, I realized that like it it could have protected my peace further. So I think kind of realizing to say no is more so like having the confidence to stand up and say no, because it will protect your peace in a way, and it will protect kind of your self-love and keeping yourself intact, because keeping yourself intact and keeping your self-love and everything intact is very important, so you can love yourself and not kind of strain yourself too thin. I think last year for sure, and kind of even, I don't know, throughout my high school career, I've definitely been more weary on saying no, just because I have a bad case of FOMO, the fear of missing out. So I get kind of scared to say no in case of things, but realizing that if I said no, um, like my peace would have been more protected and not strain myself too thin, because I tend to do that and I tend to spread myself out too thin and say yes to things that I should have said no to, just to protect myself and to keep myself intact. But saying no is a really hard thing to do, because you always want to please everyone else. You always want to please like your family or your friends or partners. You always want to say yes and please them. But realizing that you have to always put yourself first, and realizing that like what you do is more important, and like keeping yourself at the best of your abilities is more important than saying yes to, say, like going out or hanging out with a friend or doing a favor or something like that.
That's a good point. I
Mhm.
can't agree with you more about that. Like sometimes I'm also having some difficulties saying no,
Mhm.
refusing some
Mhm.
people that they try to uh, ask me to do something
Mhm.
for them without respect, and that's a really
Mhm.
good point.
Yeah.
So for now, we are moving on to part four: daily practices that build
Mhm.
self. Some activities that you try to do in your daily life that can have strength and boost your self love, your inner peace. So, what is the simple thing someone can do today to start loving themselves more and more better?
Definitely kind of like I said, the affirmations have really, really been helping me, because at the beginning of the year, I was not like actually, yeah, at the beginning of the year, I was insecure about kind of myself and my personality and my looks in a way. And I was feeling very, very self-conscious and insecure. And I realized I was like, dang, like this is not how I should be feeling, because like this is not a good way, this is not a good mindset, not a good like way of living. So I just started practicing affirmations because of one of the programs I went to. They really, and like they kind of instilled in us affirmations and kind of repeating them every morning. So I've actually been doing that as I wake up, and I've seen a lot of improvement in kind of the way I live my life and the way I go around, just kind of my school, for example, the way I go around my school, the way I interact with people. I like affirmations are just like the best thing you can do for your mind, body, and soul, and also your social interactions as well. I love just saying, as like I wake up and I do my affirmations as I stretch too. So it's not only helping my body, but it's also helping my mind. And it's just like a quick like, I'm strong, I'm magnetic, I am beautiful, I got this, like I can do all things. And I think that has helped me the most and has definitely turned my senior year around so far, because like I said at the beginning of the year, I was not feeling myself, and now I'm like, wow, I'm unstoppable. So definitely the affirmations for sure is a way you can practice it. But I think also hobbies that connect with yourself as well. So doing things, me for example, my podcast, I kind of put my podcast on the back burner for my junior year, and I kind of picked it up again for my senior year and picked up kind of like the posting for it and the advertising for it and things that I really love and enjoy doing. And I realized I kind of fell back in love not only with my podcast and podcasting, but also myself, because I kind of, my podcast is a huge part of me. And I felt like as I was not doing that, I kind of missed that about me. So finding hobbies that also kind of remind you of yourself and reminds you who you are, such as like it could be like crafts, it could be a sport, it could be anything, could kind of just like re-falling back in love with things that make you feel like yourself for sure is definitely something I would recommend as well.
Yeah, that's really good. So you mean that habits and the hobbies that are connected, interconnected,
Mhm.
like right?
Yeah.
And so we just start doing from the simple things, the small things in a day, so that we can become more better and love ourselves better, right?
Yes, for sure.
Yes. Okay, so on the busiest days, I mean the day that you have an overload of work, schedules, self-love looks like giving yourself permission to pause, to breathe, or even say no. So can you practice self-love even on your busiest days?
I think I'm a big fan of to-do lists. I love a good list. I think it just helps me organize my brain and all my thoughts, especially on my busy days where I'm like, well, I have to do all of this, I have to get all of this done, and it feels you get kind of wrapped up and kind of overwhelmed in a sense for how you're going to get all of it done. I think writing it out for me is the best it can do, the best I can do for my brain. And I think that also is a form of self-love because it is helping my brain out, and it's also helping me accomplish all the things that I want to do, which just always makes me feel good whenever I check everything off my to-do list. I'm like, dang, I did that, I did that, I did that, I did that. So it makes me feel very accomplished. So finding kind of simple things like that in the day as well, like a simple to-do list, for example, can honestly increase your mood and increase your like kind of value of yourself, because when days you can feel like, wow, I was not productive today, you can like look back and be like, wow, like I actually did all of this stuff, and I'm actually really really proud of myself because I got all of this done, even though it kind of felt kind of crazy and scary. I was kind of, it's able to like organize it in a sense that makes it more digestible and makes it able to it makes it able makes your busy days to feel like you're still accomplishing things and making you still feel like good and confident about yourself throughout the day. Mhm.
Yeah, that's really good. Sounds impressive and interesting.
Mhm.
So Lily, it's your turn for the final question.
Okay, so how
Sorry.
do you know? Huh? Okay, so how do you know when a decision is truly in your best interest?
Um, ooh, that one's a hard one. I feel like I don't know. It's like when you feel like it's going to benefit you long term. So I think for me this year, I've kind of realized that like doing things that may be hard in the moment will give me great benefits later on. So I've been applying to internships lately, and even though going into that meeting might have felt really, really scary, at least like I did it and I came out feeling more accomplished and more better about myself. So like knowing when a decision, like knowing it that it's gonna like benefit you in the long run and honestly benefiting your happiness. It's like, say you do something and it makes your life better and you're better in your quality of life better. That's how you know it's in your best interest, because it made your overall sense of living better, rather than kind of, if you say yes to something and it kind of spreads you thin and then you're kind of more drained in a sense that you should have been. That's like not something that's going to be in your best interest, knowing that it brings you further away from yourself, and things in your best interest are going to make you feel kind of re-energized and more about yourself. Like I think a good example of this is like going for hangouts or hanging out with friends. For example, for me personally, some things like you just feel like, oh, like I don't know if I should go to this, like I don't know if like this is like if this is going to serve me, like it's a school night, I have all these things, but then you ended up going and it ends up being something that you really love and that kind of refills your cup. And I think refilling that cup and just making and doing things that fill your cup back up is so important, and that's what's going to benefit you long term, because you become the best version of yourself. You become a version that not only you love but other people can love too.
That's really amazing. Yeah,
Thank you.
I understand more. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, uh, so a final question
Mm.
for the talk show today. The episode today is, what roles does gratitude play in loving yourself?
I am a super, super big fan of gratitude. I absolutely think it's like just the thing you can do ever. Just thanking, just like kind of thanking out loud, like saying like thank you out loud is really going to make you feel more like you not only helped yourself but helped out someone else too. So just thanking out loud. So be like thank you, and it's like things will come into your way that you didn't think were possible. It's like just like by the simple means of like thanking the universe. It's like thank you for this, thank you, and practicing gratitude for sure. So after an opportunity comes your way, after a friend comes your way, after a hangout, after a person, so after anything comes your way and through your path of life, just kind of thanking something or someone out loud can be so beneficial, because it just makes you feel better. Because when we do a favor for someone, or when someone does a favor for us and they say thank you and we say thank you back, it's just kind of that positive reinforcement that everyone kind of needs in their life. So practicing gratitude is so important, because it just kind of brings you up and makes you more positive overall, because you realizing that you are contributing to like society or to a person or to something else. So I think I think gratitude is like the most important, because yes, self-love is important, but gratitude also plays part in that as well, a huge part in that.
Yeah, I think so. Like, we have to be more grateful for
Mhm.
everything that we have achieved, and we have to say thank yous to anyone that have us. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good way and essential role in promoting self-love every day. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, as we wrap up today's conversation, I hope this episode has reminded you that self-love isn't selfish, it's essential. It's very
Mhm.
necessary in our daily life to have a confidence life without feeling stressed out or feeling frustrated in some cases. So finally, is there a final message or piece of advice that you could give to our audiences about promoting self love?
I think a final message is just for the younger audiences, like it'll come with time. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned, is that people can look and appear super confident on the outside, and that does not mean they're confident or love themselves on the inside at all. So people who look like they have it all together might not actually have it all together. So you should never compare yourself to those people, and kind of always look for internal validation rather than external validation, because in the long run, that's always going to make you the happiest, and that's always going to make you feel the best when you're on your own timeline, when you are practicing gratitude, when you feel like you accomplish things yourself. And yeah, just making sure that, yeah, just like as it goes on with time, like people, you get more kind of developed in a sense in who you are. So like do not worry about being like having your everything figured out like right now, because it's just always going to come along with time, and time will kind of help you, and like always it's going to help your brain out mature for sure. I think just looking back at like to see to where I am now to my freshman year is two completely different people and mindsets. And I think it is truly due to time and the experiences we learn in our young age. And then even going further in life, just realizing that like time will, it'll only get better with time, and definitely realizing that. Yeah.
So useful advice. Yeah. Okay, so this is the end of the episode today, and I'm so grateful for your support. You're having time to share your ideas, your viewpoints on promoting self-love, and I'm so grateful for your support today. Yeah,
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. It was really a joy.
yeah. Okay, so I will stop the recording.
Mhm.
Lily, can you check the timing 2 minutes, right? Okay. Yeah, okay. The first question is, do you pause and take deep breaths when you feel overwhelmed?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Can you comfort yourself with gentle words after a mistake?
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Can you comfort yourself with gentle words after a mistake?
To be honest, never.
Never.
I'm getting
Do
better.
you,
I'm getting better.
do you allow yourself to rest without feeling guilty even when your to-do list is not done at the time?
Always.
Always. Okay. Are you able to say no to something that drains you without guilt?
Mm, always.
Always. Right. Do you celebrate small achievements, even those only you noticed?
Always, for sure.
Yeah, that's good one. Do you acknowledge and celebrate your small wins, no matter how tiny it is?
Always.
That's good. Do you speak to yourself with the same kindness you offer to your loved ones?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you engage in a micro self-care act daily, like self-touch affirmations?
Always.
That's good. Do you eat, rest, move in ways that respect what your body needs now?
Sometimes. I would like to say majority of the times, but sometimes it can be a little off.
Sometimes. That's good. Okay, the final question. Do you include moments of stillness, reflection, or mindfulness in your day?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. That's good one. Yeah, this is the end. And Lily, can you check how many questions are yes or no so that we can clarify the final answer? Lily, you counting? Are you counting?
Yeah, just one say no and
One no.
yes. And
9 yes.
Yes,
Not
nice. Yes, answer.
nice.
You are living with happy and mindful self-love.
Yay!
Yeah, that's good. Okay, yeah, that's really good. Like you are always optimistic and positive. That you try to spread everything positivity to anyone that are listening to your podcast. And I'm really impressed your podcast too because it's aesthetic. It's beautiful. Like this design, yeah, that's really good one.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, I will start recording.